Welcome back to Nova Fitness. Today is Tuesday, May 12th. I'm Coach Kevin.
Coach Ronnie.
And today's workout is held up. But before we get into the workout, Coach Ronnie's going to warm us up.
Alright guys, so for today's warm-up, we have a start-out piece with 5 shuttle runs. So we're going to go through 5 shuttle runs, 10-meter distance, down and back. And once you complete those 5 runs, we are going through 10 good mornings. So this is an opportunity, again, if you have a band or any type of weight that you can hold at the chest or on at the upper back, you're going to do 10 total good morning reps. Once we finish that 10 reps, we're going back to the floor. We're going to go into 10 cat cows. And that cat cow, you're going to really try to focus on driving those shoulder blades apart, rounding it back up, and then pressing down through and squeezing at that bottom position. All right, so 10 total reps in that cat cow. From there, we return to the shuttle run for 5 more reps. We're getting 5 shuttle runs. We return from that. We're going into 10 Spider-Man with reach. So 5 on each side. It's going to lunge down. Really try to drive that knee open up the hip, rotate towards that forward leg. All right, again, 10 total reps, so 5 each side. From there, we're going into 10 no arm swings. So with that kettlebell or dumbbell, you're just going to really try to focus on using hips only to provide momentum and activate in that no arm swing. Really trying to look for you to engage through the hips, good position, extending those hips with some force to drive some momentum to that kettlebell. Once you get through those 10 swings, we got 5 more shuttle runs. Once we finish those shuttle runs, we're going into 10 bent over rows per side. So really focus on bending over, squeezing, activating through the lats. Get that ready for the action and pull-ups today. Again, 10 per side, and then we finish with some more hip posterior chain opening up with 5 Romanian deadlifts per side. So it's 5 reps on Romanian deadlift per side to finish out. So again, the warm-up is 5 shuttle runs, 10 good mornings, 10 cat cows, 5 shuttle runs, 10 Spider-Man with reach, so that's 5 each side, with 10 no arm swings. So we're trying to again focus on the hips with that. 5 more shuttle runs with 10 bent over rows per side and 5 Romanian deadlifts per side. Let's get through the warm-up and get ready for the WOD.
Today's workout held on, we are going to have 5 rounds of a 400-meter run, 21 Russian swings, either utilizing the kettlebell or the dumbbell, and then doing 9 strict pull-ups or any type of variation of a pull-up. So the first thing we're going to start off with is demoing just the traditional Russian kettlebell swing. So if you have a kettlebell, what we're going to be looking for is Coach Ronnie's going to have that kettlebell slightly out in front of his feet. When he goes to grab the kettlebell, he's going to hinge over from the hip. He's going to load up that posterior chain. He's going to hike the kettlebell back, loading himself up, and then extending through the knees, the hips, and the torso, creating all that momentum and power in order to be able to bring that kettlebell up to shoulder height. So the finish position we're looking for today is that kettlebell getting to the shoulder height, arms parallel to the ground, and Coach Ronnie's torso being nice and tall. The big thing we do want to avoid is making sure, 1, that the kettlebell doesn't pull us underneath, and then number 2 is making sure that we don't arch really far back trying to get that kettlebell up. Yeah, we don't want to just throw the hips forward. What we're trying to do is extend the body straight and then utilizing that posterior chain to create explosive power in order to be able to move that kettlebell or the dumbbell. Alright, so now if you only have a dumbbell at home, the variations that we can do today are 2 different styles. There's one where you can interlace your finger on one end of the dumbbell, such as Coach Ronnie's doing. Everything's still going to apply. Hiking the kettlebell back, loading up that posterior chain, extending through the body, the lower body, and the torso in order to create that momentum for that dumbbell. Same thing, coming up to the shoulder height, arms parallel to the ground, body nice and perpendicular to the ground as well. We want it to be straight up and down. The second variation that we have is if we interlace our fingers and we grab it around the handle part of the dumbbell as we do our swings. So again, same thing's going to apply. Load up the posterior chain, try to be explosive from the hip, creating all that momentum to get that dumbbell or kettlebell up to that shoulder height without just pulling on the weight using that upper body. The one thing we do want to be careful of just a little bit is if you're doing the variation where we're holding onto the handle of the dumbbell, depending on your arm length, it might pull you down just a little bit lower. So just be mindful of that lower back if that's the style you're going to use. Just make sure that you really are loading up that posterior chain. Use those loosened hamstrings and not that lower back, especially for the number of repetitions that we have today. And then the last movement we have in today's workout is going to be the strict pull-ups that we'll go over. So what we'll do is we're going to have Coach Ronnie jump right up. When he jumps up to the pull-up bar, he's going to keep a nice active shoulder blades down and back. If you notice that his feet are together, abs are nice and tight, turned on, he's going to pull himself up, chin above the bar, controlled on that descent. He's actually loading himself back up for that next repetition on the way down. Great. So the one thing we want to look out for when we have these strict pull-ups is keeping a nice good body position, pulling ourselves up in a great position, getting the chin above the bar, and then just dropping underneath into that passive hang position. One, it's terrible for your shoulders, and two, you don't have any tension to kind of load yourself back up for that next repetition. So obviously on that way down, we want to be mindful that we're loading up our muscles, getting ourselves ready for that next repetition of the pull-up. If you don't have pull-ups today or you don't have a pull-up bar, we do have two variations that you can do. The first one is just your traditional ring roast. So if you have a set of rings at home, what we're going to do is Coach Ronnie's going to walk his feet out in front. He's going to keep his body nice and straight. So the big thing is, if you look from Coach Ronnie's feet to his shoulders, his body is in a nice straight line. And then as he goes to pull himself up, he's going to push down on the rings a little bit, create tension, and then pull himself up to the top position. When he pulls himself up to that top position, Coach Ronnie has nice control of his body. He's not just flinging himself up there, falling through the rings at the top, but creating tension on the back throughout the entire repetition as he goes through. If he wants to make it easier on himself, Coach Ronnie just has to walk his feet back, and it will become easier. You'll be pulling less of your body weight. If you want to make it more difficult, again, just walk your feet out in front, get your body more parallel to the ground, and again, you'll have to not only pull more of your body weight, but work against gravity just a little bit more. The last modification that we can do for the pull-ups today, if you have it at home, if you have a rack or a secure place on a bar or using the edge of a table, whatever it is you can just do a fixed bar body run. So same things are going to apply. The feet are going to be out in front. Coach Ronnie's going to press down against that bar, create tension, pull himself up in order to be able to utilize the muscles in his back as he tries to bring that chest up to the bar, again, controlling himself on that way down during that descent. The same thing applies with the feet. If you need to make it more difficult, all you have to do is walk your feet forward or lower the bar. If you need to make it slightly easier so that you can get through all 9 of those repetitions, move your feet back or elevate the bar slightly, and then that will make the exercise more doable. So let's find the right modification that we need for our pull-ups. And let's start getting some of the swings in, and then we'll come back and we'll go over some strategy for today's workout. Some strategy that we want to think about for today's workout is going to be, we're going to spend a fair amount of time running. So if you look at the total workout, we're going to be doing over a mile running within the workout. So we want to make sure that we are able to kind of pace ourselves out here a little bit, especially early on in the workout. The last thing we want to do is take off in a dead sprint in that first round on that 400-meter run, come back and have to take an incredibly long rest and try to either catch our breath or just feel so uncomfortable with the rest of the workout that we're just trying to survive the workout and not really focusing on training or getting any better in the movements, in our pacing, in our breathing. So really make sure that we pay attention to how fast we are running in those early rounds in order to be able to finish this workout nice and strong.
In addition to that, guys, let's make sure we try to stay consistent with our rounds. Alright, so if we have the ability to go through the 21 swings and the 9 strict pull-ups unbroken, let's try to maintain that and keep a consistent time per each round. If we do have to break this up, let's think about breaking it up in a way that allows you to do the kettlebell swings or dumbbell swings in no more than 2 sets. So thinking about maybe 11-10 or even 12-9, so you have that second half of that breakup a little shorter amount of reps. And with the pull-ups, maybe no more than 3 sets. So if we can stay with the consistent 5 reps and then finishing the 4 on the pull-ups, perfect. If not, see if we can break it up to 3-3-3 with quick, small breaks in between each segment of that pull-up for each round. Again, the most important piece with that is staying consistent between each round as you go through round 1 through round 5.
All right, so again, have a good time, push hard in the workout. If you guys do have any questions, put them down on Sugar WOD there or send us a message directly and we'll get back to you. And then we look forward to seeing everyone's times.